community property and separate property. That is perhaps the most important thing that people need to understand when they're coming in and looking at a divorce. And the way the Texas law does it is they don't tell us what separate property is. They tell us what community property is. And like technically, it is all property that is acquired during the time of marriage other than by gift or inheritance. So we sort of know that separate property is at least gift and inheritance. So for those of you who inherited money during your divorce and you think, oh, I'm going to have to share that with my spouse, or my spouse inherited money and I'm going to get to have half of that, half or maybe a different percentage of that property, that's probably not going to be the case unless you're able to negotiate that out because the spouse wants to do that. But a more complicated area of separate property is a situation where a spouse, for example, has a house, then gets married, and then a year or two after marriage they sell that house and they get a big chunk of money from that house, and then they immediately purchase a new house together in both names. That is an extremely complicated question about what's the characterization of the new house, because primarily the down payment on the house came from the proceeds of this house that was owned before marriage, and that house, because it was owned before marriage, is not community property. I'm not in this video going to tell you how to do that analysis. This is an area where it is very important to go see an attorney to talk about your particular fact situation, what in the end is going to be separate or community, or at least what areas of conversation will there be in negotiation with the other spouse in that regard.